How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video we're going to be going over a Game Week 5 wildcard draft. I actually wasn't going to produce this video, but I went onto my Twitter page after my week break and a lot of people were requesting it. So it seems a lot of you are using the wildcard chip for Game Week 5. Perfectly fine with that if you want to use your chip in Game Week 5. I personally don't think I will. However, making this wildcard draft really did tempt me. I basically changed my entire starting 11 to different players. So if you're interested to see which players I ended up picking, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So a new season calls for a new sponsor, but here on the Dayvy FPL channel, we like our old. So I've brought back the old sponsor, OneFootball, but with a completely new revamped app. Yes, OneFootball has gone over a complete marketing revamp, new logo, new everything. I've checked it out, looks really good. They kind of took the old app, but just made it better. So I'm really appreciative of that. If you want to go check them out, link down in the description below to go download the app. If you don't know who they are, they're the biggest app on iOS and Android. So go check them out. I personally use them, so I can recommend them from a personal level. So if I was using my wildcard in Game Week 5, the first and primary thing that I would be doing is a fixture analysis on the premium squads. Now I've selected personally these 4 premium teams. However, you can also look at other teams, maybe an Arsenal, maybe a Aubameyang looks good to you and you want to kind of bring him in Game Week 5 or maybe even later on when they have better fixtures. That could be up to you. But the 4 teams that I'm going to be personally focusing on are Spurs, Liverpool, Manchester City and Manchester United. So Manchester City and Liverpool, the 2 teams that I always label those fixture-proof squads. Unfortunately, it hasn't really been like that in this FPL season. Liverpool having that shock kind of defeat to Aston Villa, who played really well. And then Manchester City drawing to Leeds in a game that we thought was going to be absolutely crazy. Some even rumored to be maybe a 6-5 or something. It was just the 1-1 in the end. So I think Manchester City are looking maybe a little bit better than Liverpool, but that might have just been one of those anomaly games for Liverpool against Aston Villa. But with these 2 teams, I would definitely be looking at them for the upcoming game weeks, mainly Liverpool because of their nice fixtures. I think with Manchester City, you can kind of get away with not owning them for the upcoming game weeks. I definitely would own a Liverpool asset because they, as I said, lovely fixtures. And the thing is, even though Liverpool aren't performing well, Mo Salah still is producing the goods. 2 goals against Aston Villa. So if you ended up captaining him, that was a really nice return compared to other captains. And with Mo Salah, you can basically captain him against anyone. And with those lovely fixtures, you're pretty much going to be captaining him every single game week, if not every game week, as he's just such a strong captaincy option for all of us. With Manchester City, Arsenal at home in Game Week 5. Arsenal historically park the bus against the top 6 sides, and Manchester City recently haven't been that great at breaking those sides down. Then they play West Ham, who have been a lot better under David Moyes this season, so they look quite good. Sheffield United are another story. They look absolutely terrible, but then they go and face Liverpool and Spurs, which are quite close games. I feel top 6 clashes are always quite close. But then in Game Week 11, Fulham, and Game Week 13, West Bromwich Albion. So I think Manchester City, you can get away with not owning them right now, especially if you're not going to captain them. But then I would be looking at bringing them in around Game Week 11, which actually fits quite well with the Spurs assets, and even Manchester United around Game Week 11. It also looks quite good to bring them in, or even Game Week 9. So with Manchester City, I think you can get away with not owning them. I would own a Liverpool asset because I think Mo Salah is just looking too strong of a captaincy option in most game weeks. So I would try and fit him in my own personal wildcard squad. So then Spurs and Manchester United up next. So Spurs, I definitely think with that run of fixtures from Game Week 5 to Game Week 8, they face West Ham at home, Burnley away, Brighton at home, and then West Bromwich Albion. West Bromwich Albion and Fulham seem to be the fixtures that we should be targeting because those 2 teams, defensively especially, don't really look that great. And with the form that Spurs are in right now, I can actually see a Son and Kane double up if I was going to be using my wildcard. So I think until Game Week 8, I probably would own them and then maybe change them out because they face Manchester City, Chelsea and Arsenal. So I think that perfectly correlates with maybe your Manchester City options and even your United options, because if we look at United from about Game Week 9 to Game Week 11, they have some really nice fixtures as well. So what you probably can do is do a swap around maybe your Liverpool and your Spurs options to a Man City option or United option, but that's going to be in your personal plan. What I would do is own Spurs and Liverpool, and then maybe, depending on form, bring in Manchester City and United. Form is especially important for United because they've started the season off quite badly. I think even Manchester United fans will agree with me. They haven't been looking too great, and with their upcoming fixtures against Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal and Everton, those sides have definitely been in better form than United at the start. So I think those will be quite tough games. But then we can kind of assess them, look at City, look at United, and decide who to bring in around Game Week 10 or Game Week 9, depending on how we feel. That's also going to depend on your captaincy options. Maybe you don't want Salah against Leicester and Wolves because you're not going to captain him then. You can easily change him to a Bruno Fernandes and then you can just captain him depending on how they're looking. So that's the first thing I would do if I was on a wild card. I do an analysis of the premium teams because your premium assets are going to dictate who you're going to be captaining. That's just how it is this season with a lot of players filling in that premium price bracket. And we also have a lot of budget options that are reinforcing those premiums quite nicely and that are getting us FPL points. So just do this with your own squad, and at the end of the day, I think your FPL squad is going to be looking better because of it. So this is the draft that I had come up with. I'm recording this on Tuesday afternoon, so just keep that in mind. If there are price rises on Tuesday night, that'll kind of alter the team value that I have put on the screen. The other thing to note is I do have 0.0 in the bank, so I just could afford this draft. However, my team value is not looking too great this FPL season, so I'm pretty sure most of you will be able to afford this draft, especially if you bought maybe a Martinez before his price rises. You won't have any problems about that. There are some positions that I am not too sure about, but I will talk about those when we do go over those specific players. So starting off in goal, we have Martinez and Nyland, so it doesn't really matter who you put in for Nyland or Steer, just a 4 million keeper, whoever you want. But Aston Villa looking great this season, and the nice thing about Aston Villa is they do have an upcoming double game week. Should be around game week 18 to game week 16. So then already you got a double game week player, and if you're using your wild card this early, you want some double game week kind of coverage, even though it is quite far in the future. But Martinez, no reason not to bring him in. Looks like a great shot stopper, even a great penalty saver for Aston Villa. So he comes in at 4.7, a little bit more expensive than other 4.5. So if you do prefer maybe McCarthy or you're looking at Ryan, you could opt for them as well. But I think Aston Villa are a great shot from a defensive point of view. This is kind of the position that I wasn't really sure of, is Taylor and Walker-Peters, but they are placeholders. So just choose whatever 4.5s you're happy with. Maybe you prefer a Lamptey from Brighton, who probably is a little bit more expensive, but comes in about 4.6 price bracket. But Walker-Peters and Taylor, if they're not favored for you, just bring in whatever 4.5s you favor, and then you can just simply rotate them. Maybe look at a rotation plan for you that is looking a lot better. We also have Mitchell here, which provides some bench coverage because he does look quite good. Patrick van Arnold is nearing a recovery from his injury and should be making that squad in the upcoming fixtures. But the thing with PVA is he's been rumored to maybe start at a wing position even. So maybe Mitchell stays in that position because of how well he's been playing. And at 4.1, he's a playing defender. What more could you ask for? Then we have probably quite a controversial one. We have Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. I just love this Liverpool double up because how forward and attacking they're getting. I mean, although from a defensive point of view, Aston Villa was really bad, Robertson is basically playing like a winger. He's been playing like a winger for most of the games in Liverpool's season, even last season. And at 7 million, I just think he's a steal. Now, Liverpool's defense will surely shore up. I say that, hopefully I didn't jinx it. I do think they'll be getting some clean sheets in those upcoming games, especially with how green those fixtures are looking. And with Liverpool, maybe it isn't even the green fixtures we should be looking. Maybe it's the red fixtures, because against the easier oppositions, they don't seem to be doing quite well. But Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold could be something that you want to change. So simply downgrade Robertson. Maybe you like Chilwell. You can bring him in, and then it allows you a little bit more budget maybe to upgrade your forward or your midfield departments. But I really do like the Liverpool double up, and that's something that I definitely would include if I was going to be wildcarding in Game Week 5. Then in midfield, we've gone for some mid-range options and some premium options. I spoke about Son and KANE double up because of Spurs fixtures, so I really do like Son and KANE in this draft. And the nice thing about them, you can easily downgrade them or upgrade them depending on how your premium asset plan is for the rest of the season. We have Grealish and Zaha here, both coming in around that 7 million mark. So Grealish just showed how good of a play he is against Liverpool, and he really does carry that Aston Villa squad. So if Villa are doing well, Grealish will be doing well in turn. And then also Zaha. Crystal Palace have some great fixtures. Go check out the Game Week 5 preview where we spoke about Crystal Palace's great fixtures. I think that Zaha's going to have a great season, and with those sea of green fixtures that he does have, I reckon there's going to equal some FPL points. We then have Salah, Mr. Reliable. I'm definitely going to have him in the squad because he's just a nice captaincy option if you don't know who to captain. And with the way he's been performing this season, I think he's going to be on for another great season. And then we have Souček at 4.9, an absolute steal. Gets forward loads. West Ham have some nice fixtures. Currently, they have some bad fixtures in the next couple, so maybe you want to bench him, but then after that they have some lovely fixtures, and you could even bring in Antonio maybe for Brewster later on when their fixtures do get better for that nice West Ham double up. Going to the striker department, we've got KANE here. An informed KANE is a really scary FPL option as he can just get a double-digit haul against anyone. So I really think that if I have the opportunity to bring KANE in when he is in form, you got to go for it. And then obviously we have Calvert-Lewin. I'm not going to talk about too much because everything has kind of already been said about the top scorer in the Premier League at the moment. moment. A nice addition to the forward line is going to be Brewster. At 4.5, it's just kind of a hope that he starts for Sheffield United. Sheffield United have an abundance of forward options though, so I'm a little bit worried about that, but at 4.5, willing to take the risk. If he does start, he just has to get a goal every now and again, and then he's definitely going to be worth that 4.5 price tag. So this is the draft that I currently went for. Comment down below your FPL drafts and your concerns, and hopefully I'll be getting back to you. So this is basically a wrap up the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new or have not subscribed yet. I'll be checking you guys in the team selection dropping tomorrow, otherwise on my Twitter page at Dayvy FPL. I'm signing off. This has been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.